Hello and welcome. Thanks for joining me in this practice that is designed to help assist with breathing. So we're going to focus on creating space, particularly in the side body, to make more room for the breath. There's a few things that I'll ask you to focus on throughout this practice to facilitate that goal. Rooting through the legs, using your breath to expand the side ribs, and directing your breath into the places where you feel resistance. Going to begin lying on our backs. For this practice, should have mentioned, probably just need one block, but you might have a couple blankets, bolsters, stuff that you would normally use for standing and seated poses. So you can begin lying on your back in Shavasana. If your back feels tense or uncomfortable, perhaps feet are planted instead. Take these first few moments to just arrive, both in the present moment and in this physical form, your body. Notice where the body makes contact with the floor. See if you can allow any resistance to be as it is, and simply let the body respond to gravity. And notice any rise and fall the belly might be making as you breathe in and out. Observe any movement of the rib cage that the breath is creating. And let's think of the rib structure as more of a basket than a cage. So there's room for expansion. Now let's interlace the hands behind the head, cradling the head in the hands, letting the head be heavy in the hands, and allowing the arms to be heavy as well. Let's start our movement by sliding one elbow to reach and point toward whatever's behind you. And then take it to the other side. Try to slide along the ground rather than lifting. Going side to side as you reach one elbow toward the wall behind you. Push out through the same side heel and slide the back of that leg away. And then relax that side. Try the same thing on the other side, reaching the elbow in one direction and the same side heel in the opposite direction. Let's coordinate the movement and the breath together. So we'll inhale into the stretch and exhale as the transition. You could turn your head and your eyeballs to gaze toward the elbow that's reaching overhead. Let's try this a couple more times. Feel free to stay at the end range in the stretch for a couple of breaths. Sending your breath to wherever there's resistance. Gradually make your way back to center. And let your arms rest at your sides and your whole body be heavy and relaxed. Now let's bend the knees and ground the soles of the feet. And bring your arms out to a T shape or to cactus to help open the lungs. Drape the right leg on top of the left so there's no space between the thighs. And then rock to the inner edge of the left foot to lower the legs to the right. And bring the legs back to the starting position. As you rock to the inner edge of the left foot, the knees drop right, and we want to keep the left shoulder rooted on the floor. Let's try doing this movement on the in-breath, breathing into the left side of the rib basket. And maybe turning your head to the left as your legs drop over to the right. We try initiating the return, the movement of the legs back to center from your outer left hip. Using your breath to expand the side ribs as you come into the shape. Once you're back to center, switch the cross of the legs. Right foot is planted, left leg is draped over the right. We're crossing at the thighs. And then rock to the inner edge of the right foot, knees and legs lower to the left. With your exhalation, come back to the starting position. Try to keep your right shoulder heavy and anchored to the floor. Turning your head to the right as the legs go to the left. Initiating the return of the legs back to center from the outer right hip. Keeping your breath in the foreground of awareness. Once you are back to center, stretch the legs straight onto the floor. Bring your arms down alongside your body and rest in stillness. Now let's bend the knees, roll to your side, and make your way into child's pose. Let's try having the knees close together in child's pose, about hips width apart. Big toes usually touch. Send your hips back to your heels. Stretch your arms forward. And then walk your arms over to your left side. And keep reaching a little more through the right arm as you draw the right hip back in the opposite direction. You can let your head be heavy. Maybe you bring your head to a block if there's tension in the neck. Breathe into the right side. I'm using my my left hand as a little bit of a training wheel or kickstand. So I'm pushing, my left elbow is bent and I'm pushing my left hand into the floor. And there's a little bit of rotation potential, sending the navel a little more toward your left thigh. Let's try the other side. Stretch the arms forward at center. And then walk your hands over to your right. Keep reaching, especially through the left arm. And maybe plant your right hand and rotate your belly a little more toward the right thigh. You can let your head be heavy. Continue to direct your breath into your left side. Let's come back to center. And then bring your hands beneath your shoulders, press yourself up, and make your way to a seat. Sukhasana. We'll sit cross-legged. Try to cross at the shins rather than at the ankles. So we kind of close it up, tighten it up. If the knees are quite high, I'd strongly encourage you to sit up on a blanket, on the edge of a blanket or a bolster, so the knees can drop down. Turn the torso to face one knee, and then take a fold forward over that leg. So same thing here, you can reach more through that inside arm and use your outside arm to assist. And the head can be heavy, or maybe your head comes to the support of a block. We want to be mindful not to encourage the sitting bones to pop up too much. Let your sitting bones be heavy. Direct your breath into any place where you feel resistance. Let's bring the hands beneath the shoulders to press the torso upright, coming to feel center. And now let's switch the cross of the legs for balance. Turn the torso to face the other knee, other leg, and fold forward again. Staying grounded as best you can through the sitting bones, maybe using the hands, the arms to assist in that rotation of the navel toward the thigh, and then creeping the inside arm away from you to elongate through the side body. And can you create space from the inside with your breath? Plant your hands beneath your shoulders to rise up. Take a moment to feel center. And now let's make our way into the downward facing dog. Let your head be heavy. Direct your breath into the places where you feel resistance. Really activate and awaken the feet and the legs. The toes are spread. We're rooting evenly through the inner and outer edges of the feet. Firming the thigh bones, the thigh muscles, firming muscle to bone. Staying connected to your breath. Let's walk the feet up toward the hands. Bring your hands to your hips and push your feet into the floor, slowly rising all the way up to stand. Release your arms. Let's get the block. We'll take the block between the upper inner thighs and bring the feet close together. And now this won't be in the screen, but you're going to take hold of your wrist. So we'll stretch the arms up. Take hold of right wrist with left hand and take a side bend over to your left. Squeeze the block and tug on your wrist with your hand to elongate to create traction. So commonly, I see people kind of turning down toward the ground. Make sure you're turning your heart toward the ceiling. Head can be where it feels good for the neck, probably just straight ahead. Breathe into the right side. Push your feet into the floor, coming up. Switch, holding left wrist with right hand and taking it over to your right side. Squeeze the block. Get a nice tug on your arm. Keep taking your bottom ribs, your right ribs forward. Root through your feet, rise up, release your arms, and remove the block. Next, we'll come into gate pose, Parigasana, or a gate. There's different variations. We'll come down onto the knees. So if your knees are sensitive, your mat is thin, you can just fold your mat in half or put a blanket underneath your knees. So we're up on the knees, and we'll extend the right leg out to the right. The left knee and hip are pretty much stacked. And if you're working with a block, we're going to place it on the lowest, widest, lowest, flattest setting. And you can have your right toe mound, follow the foot and toe mound up the block. So we don't want to, I see sometimes the setup for the gate with the foot turned in, it's going to rotate the hip forward. So at least for today, we want to stay more open, this external rotation in the hip. Press your left knee into the floor. Stretch your left arm up toward the ceiling And start to slide your right hand down toward your right foot. You'll feel that energy, that line of energy from the knee through the arm. And then you can start to take the arm more alongside the ear, elongating your right side out over your right leg. Keep driving the knee into the floor. Consider turning the gaze down, turning the head to look down for more comfort in the neck. Keep taking the bottom ribs forward. So right ribs drawing forward to avoid closing off. It's not wrong, just not where we're headed today. Using your breath to expand your side ribs. Root down through the knee. You can reach through your arm to rise up. Let's take the other side. Knees are about hips width apart. Extend left leg out to the side. Toes and knee point up rather than in. Press the knee into the floor. Let's stretch the right arm straight up first. Feeling that line of energy through the leg, through the hip, through the side body, through the arm, through the fingers even. And then maybe taking it more into a side bend. Keep pressing the knee into the floor and turning the belly and the heart toward the ceiling. You can adjust position of your head to alleviate any discomfort in the neck. Root and reach to rise. Gathering the knee underneath you. Coming up to standing. Our next shape is Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. We usually just call it triangle. Take a wide stance. And then turn your right toes all the way out so they point directly forward. And turn your back toes, your left toes in a little bit. You can place your block about in line with your ankle. Variable, it'll depend on you. So we'll stretch through the right arm and through the right side, staying as long as you can in this right side, bringing the hand down. So avoid this idea that it's about getting your hand down and then losing the length in the side body or turning your chest down. Let's bend the left knee for a moment. And then as you re-extend, as you slowly straighten the leg, push more through the outer edge of the foot and see if that can assist in turning the rib basket more toward the ceiling. And then feel free to stretch the left arm skyward. Legs are firm, toes are spread and soft, directing your breath to where you feel resistance. You can have soft eyes straight ahead. You can look down or you could look up. Let's root through the feet and use the strength of the legs to rise. We'll stay on this side for one more pose. Side angle, Uttita Parshva Konasana, extended side angle. We usually just call it side angle. You might want to lengthen your stride if it's kind of short. Bend your right knee until it stacks with your ankle. And you can bring your right hand down to a block or to the floor. Let's go for the inside, to the inside of the front foot. And again, let's bend the left knee for a moment. I know it probably feels kind of weird, just taking the tension out of the muscles, and then re-extend, root more through the outer edge of the foot, turn the ribs toward the ceiling. Let's stretch left arm straight up initially. And then maybe taking the arm alongside the ear. Feel and create this line of energy from the outer edge of the back foot all the way to the fingertips. Really staying grounded and rooted through the legs. Push your feet into the floor to rise. You could take your block with you. And we'll pivot the feet for the second side, starting with triangle. Left toes point straight ahead and right toes turn a little bit inward. Stretching through the arms, especially this left arm. Elongate. Bringing the hand down. Keeping that left side really open. Let's bend the back leg for a moment. And then as you straighten the leg, go slow, root through the outer edge of the back foot and use the energy of your back leg to turn the ribs toward the ceiling. Maybe stretching through the arm. Feel your breath in your sides. Push feet into the floor, reach through your arm to rise. Consider lengthening your stride a little bit. Bend your left knee for side angle. Knee and ankle stack. Bend your back leg. When you straighten, root more through the outer edge of the back foot and use the power of the back leg to turn the bottom ribs forward, top ribs back, maybe extending right arm skyward. And stay here or take the arm alongside the ear. Feel and encourage this line of energy through the whole right side of your body. Root to rise. Let's take a moment in mountain pose, stepping feet, comfortable distance apart, feeling center. Be with your breath. We'll take one more standing posture, Prasarita Padottanasana. Take a wide stance, feet parallel. Make sure one foot's not forward of the other. Turn the toes a little bit inward. Rooting through the legs, lengthen through your spine. And let's fold just about halfway forward. Bend both knees. And then slowly straighten, root a little more through the outer edges of your feet. Keeping the half mast shape, so spine is parallel to the floor. And now let's walk the hands over to the right. Some of you can take hold of your right ankle with your hands. Turn your belly to your right thigh. Bend your left knee. As you slowly straighten the leg, root more through the outer edge of the foot and use the power of that leg to turn the navel to face the thigh. And then you can bring yourself closer in. Try shifting your weight a little more toward the fronts of your feet. Firm your thigh muscles. Make sure you're not creating tension in your neck. Direct your breath to wherever you feel resistance. Let's come back to center. Spine about level with the floor. And then take it to the other side, walking your hands over to your left, maybe getting a good grip on your left ankle, or maybe it's higher up. Turn your belly toward your thigh. Bend your right leg. Slowly re-extend, slowly straighten, root more through the outer edge of the foot, and turn the belly toward the thigh. Drawing yourself in. It's very common to have the weight hanging back in the heels here. Try shifting your weight a little more forward into the toe mounds. So the pelvis comes forward. Thigh muscles are engaged. Feel the kneecaps lift as a result. And let's come back to center. If it feels safer, heel toe the feet together first, or bring your hands to your hips, press feet down to rise up, and then heel toe feet together to mountain pose. Let's have a seat again. Legs out in front. If you're shifted back, be sure to sit up on something so the pelvis can shift forward. Janu Shirshasana. Bring your right foot to your left inner thigh. We want to keep the torso squaring forward rather than opening. So the hips are level rather than this right hip coming back. Inhale, stretch up through the sides of the torso. Exhale, hinge at the hips to fold forward. Root through your legs, both legs. Turn the navel more to the left. Use your breath. Use your breath to explore the pose. Slowly rooting to rise. Second side, right leg extended, left foot to right inner thigh. Make sure when you took the leg back, it didn't also take the hip back, hips squared toward the front of the mat. Inhale, elongate sides of the torso. Exhale, hinge at the hips to fold forward. Keep turning your belly towards the right, turning the navel, and rooting through the legs. Slowly rising. Extend your legs out in front, Dandasana. Let's take the legs out wide now, Upavishta Konasana shape. Toes and knees point straight up. Let's turn the torso to face the right leg. Stretch the left hand toward the left foot. It might not get there. If it does, some of you can flip. So we externally rotate the arm. Thumb goes out, palm goes up. You keep rotating to hold the inner edge of your foot. And then we'll bring the right hand to the right hip. See if you can create a little more length out of the left side body. So extract the left ribs out of the hip rather than this motion right from the start. So right hand to the hip, take the right elbow back, spin the heart toward the ceiling. You can stay here or stretch the right arm alongside the ear like side angle. Let the right sitting bone drop to the floor. You don't have to force it down, but don't encourage it to lift up. You can stay here, or it's a nice variation to take the right hand to the back of the head and then let the weight of the head kind of lean back into the hand and even lean the torso back. Some of you can drop your left elbow down to the floor and hold the outer edge of your left foot with your hand. Then we want to spin the heart toward the ceiling. Lots of variations here. So another option would be to take your left hand across to your right. You can use your left hand to help root the thigh, or just to help find that rotation. So here, obviously, we're creating an opening, particularly through the right side of the body. Root the legs. Direct your breath to where there is resistance. And slowly, carefully coming up to center. And just take a moment to feel center. Turn your torso to face your left leg. Reach your right hand toward your right foot. Maybe it's much higher up. Maybe you flip the hand, bringing mostly the palm, the thumb down to the inner edge of the foot. Left hand to the hip. Take the elbow back, take the shoulder back. Keep lengthening the ribs away from the hip rather than C-curving the right side of your body. Stay here or stretch left arm alongside the ear. Let the left sitting bone drop without being forceful. Maybe taking the variation where you're cradling your head in your hand. We can all kind of lean back a little bit, keep turning toward the ceiling. Staying here, maybe letting your right elbow, even right shoulder drop down, holding the outer edge of the foot with your left hand, and then spinning the heart through the gate of the arms. So maybe taking that right arm over to help ground the left thigh, or just be in that direction if it feels good. It happens all the time that we start with the knees and the toes pointing up, and then we lose it. So see what's happened and reground through your legs. Slowly, carefully rising to center. Next, we'll bend the right leg. You can either place the right foot to the left inner thigh, or some of you can take your right heel to the right side of your groin, upper inner thigh. And again, we're going to turn here now to face the bent knee. Reach the left hand toward the left foot. And you could take any of the variations, the hand on the hip, the hand cradling the head, or stretching the arm alongside the ear. Root down through this thigh. If the knee's popping up, I would put a block underneath. And turn, turn. Bottom ribs come forward. Top ribs draw back. Keep lengthening out of the left side of the torso as well. Slowly rooting and rising. Extend right leg wide. Bring your left foot either to your right inner thigh or heel more toward the left groin, left side of the groin. Turn to face your left knee, your bent knee. Reach your right side toward your right foot. Maybe the hand is on the hip. Maybe the hand is cradling the head. Definitely we're elongating out of the right side. Letting the left sitting bone sink without forcing it down. Stretching long to create space for breath. Root the legs, both legs. Root to rise carefully. And extend your legs out in front. If your hamstrings are tight, I'd suggest taking the feet about shoulder width apart. Inhale, stretch up through the sides of the torso. And exhale to fold forward. Root through your legs. Bring breath into the sides of your torso and to anywhere there's resistance. Slowly come up. Next, we'll do a supported bridge. Have your block handy and lie down on your back. Just take a moment when you get on your back to extend the legs, to observe and absorb. Now let's bend the knees, ground the soles of the feet. Feet about hips width apart. Remember, touching the heels isn't for everybody. For some people, that will put them in this position or in this position, the feet too far away or too close. So once you figure out your setup, you can probably stick with it. When you come up, you want your knees and your ankles to be stacked. Let's push feet into the floor, lift the hips, and place your block underneath your sacrum. 3 different settings for the block. You can go higher. You might get a nice opening for the hips. Tuck the shoulders underneath you to broaden the chest. If you're feeling some compression in your lower back, you can try a lower setting. Another option is to kind of just lean a little toward your head so the far side of the block comes up off the ground, and that can help to lengthen the back without losing that height. Bring your breath into the sides of your torso. And we're not just practicing bridge pose. We're practicing being in the flow of presence. If you're getting knee pain, consider turning your feet out a little bit or widening your feet a little away from each other. And let's now press feet into the floor to lift the hips, to remove the block. And 1 vertebra at a time, coming down. Let your knees rest in on each other. And now let's roll to the side and come up to sit. Maybe cross-legged if that works for you. Spine rising from the ground of the pelvis. Lift your back skull up off of the top of your spine. Drop into the river of breath. Notice the breath that's already happening. Begin to lengthen your exhalations and deepen your inhalations. Bring your breath especially into the side ribs. Feel the expansion of your lower abdomen as you breathe in, followed by the expansion of the rib basket, followed by an expansion and broadening through the chest and the upper back. So breath is three-dimensional, front, sides, and back body receiving breath, receiving and letting go, receiving and letting go. Remain seated here or lie on your back in Shavasana. Just take a couple minutes here. You could certainly extend the length of your Shavasana. It's encouraged that you do so. So if you've chosen to lie down, let your feet drape and drop out to the sides. Bones glide down through layers of muscle and tissue in response to the pull of gravity. And nothing to do now. Let all the masks and roles dissolve. Let all the habitual expression drain from your face. Rest in pure awareness. And now invite your breath to deepen. Take your time, bending your knees, rolling to your side, pressing up, returning to a seat. Thank you for sharing your practice and your day with me.